Hey, what's going on, my brothers of the YTPC, my brothers and sisters? Enjoying some of my home roasted coffee. I'm really quite impressed how good coffee can come out of the oven, of all things. Today, as I said earlier, I was going to open up a tin of 2-year-old Navy rolls. I checked the date on the back and it says 26K, which I believe, or no, 6K1. The 6 being 2016, the K being the month, which is November, and the 1 being the day. So the 1st of November was when this was 10. The 1st of November 2 years ago. So I'm going to go ahead and pop her open. Take a gander. Oh man, that's how Dunhill used to be. Or that's how they were. You got a nice pleated paper. Oh yeah, presentation is most excellent. That's your presentation. You just can't beat that with a stick, guys. You just can't beat that with a stick. Look at those beautiful medallions. Beautiful coins. Now, I'll tell you, I've got a little bit of history with this tobacco. I've done a first impression, and this was in fact one of the first tobaccos that I ordered online. That Standard Mixture Mellow and Dunhill Flake, which I still have the tin of Dunhill Flake. I still have the actual tin. It's sitting on my back porch rusting. Oh yeah. Let's see if we have any sort of crystallization. I don't see any crystallization, but, or yeah, I definitely do. Oh yeah. It's slightly crystallized, but if you'll notice, they're they're actually pretty dark rings compared, because I've seen the fresh ones, and the fresh ones are pretty bright. They've got quite a bright look to them. And I was actually looking at a tin of Carolina Red Flake I have, and it's totally turned brown. They're not red anymore. Although it could be a different tobacco that I just stuck in there. I'm not sure. It may be a McClellan blend. I don't know. I couldn't say for sure. But let me look for my tray. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and rub one of these guys out. See how that goes, how much comes from it. And it's just, I love how thinly sliced they are. And it's weird. They kind of have like a bubble to them. But it's really, 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 really tightly rolled for it to come out like that. I mean, they must really tightly roll that. And a matter of fact, I'm not going to rub it out. I'm going to cut it up with a pair of scissors. Although I don't know if this is blasphemy or not, because some guys are Navy flake nuts, and I don't know if anybody's going to be upset about me cutting it up, but I like to do that with aged flake tobaccos, and spun tobacco is no different than flake tobacco. They cut it into, they spin it into a really tight roll, and then they slice it. It's pretty much the same thing as flakes, except with a flake, they don't spin it, they press it. But either way, you get a finished product that's really well um, mixed, that's really well blended. And I remember thinking the first time, I really wanted to try Navy rolls because I wanted to try Perique. I had read about Perique, and I wanted to try something that had a lot of Perique in it. And that's what I had read about Navy rolls it was one of and this was when they were deluxe Navy rolls, and Dunhill Flake come in blue, the square tins. This was years ago when I first started doing videos. Probably my first 5 videos. And this was when I had first tried Skiff Mixture, Squadron Leader, my local B&M, just so happened to have those in stock. Which, thank God, I did try them, because they really did get me hooked on tobacco. They got me stuck on pipe tobacco because I enjoyed it so thoroughly. It looks like about right for a good puff. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not even going to let it dry. It seems pretty ready to go right off the bat. The reason why I'm smoking this too is I found a website that has that still has them in stock. So I figured I bought one for $17, even though that's only $3 more than what it used to cost. It was always a really expensive tobacco to smoke compared to other companies, but like compared to Escudo, but I think it really is top quality tobacco we're talking about. I mean, I've never met somebody who thought Navy Rolls was a garbage tobacco. Everybody gives the devil its due, so to speak. I don't consider it the devil. I think it's an excellent tobacco. Like I said, the presentation is fantastic. Mm. Such a Perique forward blend. I love it. You just don't get that flavor out of any other blend. It seems like Navy Rolls is the only one. I've never had a Scudo, so I can't talk about a Scudo. Which I've got a tin of a Scudo that's got to be a year old by now, so maybe I'll crack that open next and compare. But like I was saying before, look at that. I mean, there's just a spectacular presentation. To get your medallions spread out like that, all spread out, and just beautiful bullseyes. Beautiful. And you just don't get that florally fermented flavor from other tobaccos. I know some guys who have hundreds of these tins. Hundreds. Because of how much they loved it and because it was disappearing. So they put all their money, all their tobacco money went into deluxe Navy Rolls and Flake and Dunhill Flake. Mm. It's got such a lovely pungency to it, especially in the retro hail. I mean, I've never had a Scudo, but Scudo is the only alternative. You know, there is no other tobacco that's quite like Dunhill Navy Roll. There is no other tobacco, not to my knowledge. I've never tasted another one like it. I've never seen another company try to copy it or, try to make a blend like that. Super forward on the Perique. With what, 7 different Virginias? I think it has Brazilian, African Virginias, American Virginias, has Virginias from almost every continent on the world, on the planet. Really feeling downhearted now that I only got maybe 2, maybe 3 more tins of this left, because this is a really good smoke. What's funny is I remember not being all that impressed. I thought it was interesting, the flavor, and it was different. And I could tell that it was really high quality, really beyond me. It was beyond me at the time. I didn't know. I hadn't tried 100 different blends from God knows how many other companies. So I didn't know what I was enjoying. So I took it for granted, I guess you could say. I just didn't really find it all that special. But now coming back to it, I even remember in my review that I did that I pretty much said the same thing. That it was a really fantastic blend. The nice thing is we always have Scudo. Although some will argue that it's not the same, but those two tobaccos have been neck and neck for years. Mm. Now I'm getting the pungency, but I'm also getting a nice sweetness from the Virginias that adds the depth to it. Because the pungency is a very, very sharp, very high frequency flavor, whereas the Virginias are more of a low frequency, round, uh, obtuse flavor compared to the pungency of the Perique. So it's a very well balanced blend. It's burning really nicely, even cube cut. No dry time. You guys seen me? I cracked open the tin, cut it up, put it in the pipe. I get no tongue bite from this at all. Mm. Man, the pungency out of the exhale or retrohale is really nice. You just don't get that in other blends. That Perique pungency. It's very rare to find a blend with this much perique in it. It just is. You just don't see them very often. These super perique forward blends that have a real quality to them too. And that's quality tobacco. That's when Dunhill was known for that quality. That you know the blends they were putting out, they had been making for years and years and years, and even the European company that took it over was making really quality flakes, really high quality tobaccos, really fine tobaccos, really thinly sliced tobaccos. Um, and to me, I think the thinner the slice, the better the burn. Um, Sometimes it's hard to get a McClellan tobacco to burn, to just forget about it and let it, for it to just burn all the way through. Where I've noticed a lot of the European companies, like Wessex, Coalhouse and Kopf, that does Scottish flake, really thin slices. When you rub them out, they come out to a really fine, high grade tobacco that burns really well, that really satisfies that urge, that hunger for a good smoking tobacco, pipe tobacco. It really does satisfy. When I'm in the mood for a blend like this, nothing compares. Like, let me compare it to Dunbar or Dorchester. They're so sweet, so sweet. I don't know what the difference is. They just use much sweeter Virginias. This has more of a tart, earthy, pungent flavor to it. It's earthy and tart and pungent. I don't know if tart is quite the right word because it kind of leads you to think more sour, which I guess you could say it is slightly sour, almost like sour cream or something like that. But I would refer to it more of a pungent way, but really dark and earthy too. Like right there, that last couple puffs I took, I really got the earthy Virginias out of it. I'm almost starting to get more of like a dark Virginia flake where there's just a little bit of perique, like Dunhill dark flake. Um, as we get down past that quarter halfway point, um, it's a little bit. Uh, it's still very pungent, but the Virginias are make themselves known. And this is a blend that I could see myself smoking on a regular basis. Um, and that's saying something because there are only a few blends that I smoke on a regular basis. You guys know them. 1820 mixture, Skiff mixture, Balkan Sobrani, um, Full Virginia Flake, St. James Flake. So this is up there with those. This is up there with Germain's tobaccos. This is up there with Sam Gawith tobaccos. The recipe is spot on, obviously, because another company is producing it, not Dunhill, or was producing it, and was able to recreate the same satisfaction out of the blend. I think maybe as long as it's rolled tight, cut thin, and true to the recipe, you can't lose. You can't lose. Mm-mm. Really a delicious tobacco. Uh, if you can get a hold of some, there are still some for sale around. If you can get a hold of some, I would suggest you do. Um, if you've never had it before, grab you one or two tins. If you have had it before and know that you like it, stock up. I mean, it's worth it. Because obviously there is a difference between that and a Scudo, because one would have perished and the other would have survived. Which I guess you could say Navy Rolls is perishing, but not because it wasn't a good blend. I mean, there are those that prefer Scudo, and there are those that prefer Dunhill Navy Rolls. Man, those flavors are like that. After 2 years, they're like that. They're so well blended. It's burning nice and cool too. My pipe's not getting super hot, but they're very well melded together. The flavors are. Well done on the part of Scandinavian Tobacco Group. They made another excellent product, or they were making another excellent product. I can find no fault in this blend whatsoever. It's quite a shame that it's going to, that it's gone. Although it'll be back, just not with Dunhill's name on it, which is a sad fact of pipe tobacco. Like I said in the last video, it's on its way out. We're gonna be the last generations to truly get to enjoy and experience pipe tobacco. We're going to be telling our grandkids about the good old days when you could get it. When you could get it without an arm and a leg being involved, or you know, like Cuban cigars, getting it smuggled in. You know, we need to cherish it now, because cherish it and stock up now, spend your money now. Because if it's something you want to enjoy in the future, you got to make sure, because nobody else is going to stock up for you. Get the stuff you like. Try new stuff. Um, I'm always on the lookout. Like that Wessex Gold Virginias. What a blend! What a blend! That Wessex company, they make some bad ass flakes. The presentation is perfect. But anyway, guys, I've let this go on way too long, over 25 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on the Navy rolls and the lamentations of the Navy rolls. And until next time, Treetop Piper over and out.